Okay. Oh, dark. Hey, what despair? I just got home, man. So here I am. I'm glad to have you here, man. Oh my god, man. Those spoilers. Um. All right. Hey, Skel. Hey, Animamus. Hey, Viz. All right. I'm glad I got like some of the regulars here, guys. I have Genshin on the screen, but yeah. We're just here. We're gonna chat about the spoilers. Do I need to read it out? I mean, like, I know it's tradition. Do I need to? Man, let me tell you. Look, I need like 10 minutes to catch one of the chapters I haven't read. Gotcha, TGC. Yeah, gotcha, Ty. Look, Trip, I need like 10 minutes to catch one of the chapters. Okay. All I'm gonna say is like, I can't believe it. Cause last week, or in the recent chapter video, I was saying like, supposing that Toru actually is the traitor, and then I went on that whole little speech about like, oh yeah, man, there's no way he would backtrack. I was being careful, but like, no, he wouldn't do it. That'd be way too cheap. What was I thinking? It was a cliffhanger. I should have been just like, bruh. Of course, this man would have backtracked. It's who he is. All he ever does is backtrack. I should have known. Why did I choose to believe in him at that point, man? But yeah, nah, man. Like, what was the point? Why did I even believe in him? Why after that? That's the definition of insanity. I've seen the patterns 100 times before, and on the 101st time, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. It's just, oh, that's gonna be a fun one though. Oh wait, wait, what's going on here? So Poison saying like right about the fake out misdirected to Aoyama. Gotta give credit where credit. Every time I think All for One couldn't be made to look more like an idiot, something like this happens. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw how incompetent he looks. No, but I'm actually really happy about it. Well, like technically I'm happy about the situation with Toru. Um, oh yeah, yeah, TGC. Like the last few chapters were really, really solid in terms of the darkness. But I'm happy about this because I do think Horikoshi created a very interesting situation when it comes to playing with the public. I love this because the what you ultimately get from this, and we're not going to be talking about the people on this chat because the people on this chat are pretty respectable. Aside from who can I bully? Um, Aside from I guess Ty. I guess Ty's gonna have to be the one that's getting bullied because he's making me have heart attacks every Thursday. The people on this chat are pretty respectable aside from Ty, and what I like about this is this is a very vindicating moment. When you see like how last week people were like, "Oh boy, people better start apologizing to Aoyama and like Nejire Hagakure, like, or sorry, apologizing to Uraraka and all that kind of stuff. Like all the self-righteousness that just kind of erupted from the louder parts of the Hero Academia fandom. It's just kind of cool because this is like some real-time egg in the face, and for those kind of people, it's just hilarious. One thing that I found really funny about that kind of reaction of apologizing to characters, I found it to be really asinine. Just in the sense of like the kind of reasoning that led people to believing Hagakure is the same kind of reasoning that was applied to other people. Like, why would you apologize for the same kind of thought process? Because at that point, all that you did wrong was that your sin was being incorrect, even though you engaged in the same thought process. So I actually really like this. Just in terms of, you got a lot of people really talking about it. You got a lot of people being like really sore winners about it, and now you have the egg on the face. Oh yeah, Death Ray, I'll give you my opinions. But yeah, with this so far, with the way it looks, there's a lot of things to really talk about here when it comes to Hero Academia. The fake out itself also is just, it makes it makes the last pages of last week look really stupid, because now it actually is the thing that Horikoshi did was that he showed us the person who knew about the traitor, which just doesn't make sense in the context of how he was building the pages. But when you consider the cheapness of Horikoshi, it's like, well, this is the guy that blacked out an actual dialogue bubble for Dabi. This is the guy that actually tried to say that Kurogiri was actually never in Tartarus, and tried to say, like, oh, because the background is so similar, it's totally reasonable that he was in Central Hospital. The guy does run on absolute cheapness. So this is going to be like a really great example of real-time cheapness occurring in a manga. I really did think that the Traitor reveal was going to be more about follow-through. But now, like, Horikoshi's actually made this a pretty good case study on just absolute cheapness. And I could not be any more for it. Just because it's great to see, again, real-time cheapness. I'm just so into it. And then, like, in this last week's video, I evaluated how the Traitor reveal as Toru went. But now the Aoyama Traitor reveal is significant, like multiple magnitudes higher. It was just great. It was legitimately just a great time. I still think it's Toru for some reason. Well, you are the madman. Deathray, give me a second on Ayashimon and Eden Zero. I haven't read the Ayashimon chapter, so I might tell you about that one tomorrow. But for Eden Zero, I liked what was going on with Shiki this week, and I like having a protagonist in the Oración Seis. I think that's actually pretty cool. I'm in for it. Also, I just realized that my audio might be a little bit too high for Elgat. Oh no, it's up. Yeah, no. Eden Zero was pretty solid. I like what Mashima was doing with Eden Zero. I don't think I have any like complaints about Eden Zero. I'm glad that he stuck with it and followed through. I have friends to spare. We then literally cut to Toru discovering who the traitor is and revealing who it is. Oh, well, you see, Dabi, this is why I have backup plans for my backup plans. This is a manga situation where one traitor says who the traitor is in order to make people trust them. Possibly. Like, you know, we can still have multiple traitors. Just in case my plan falls apart a little more, mention it. I was hoping for the mutant type revolution. I can respect Aoyama as a traitor since we have hints since USJ, unlike Toru. It's obvious that it's a bait and switch. There was so much evidence for Aoyama being a traitor. Yeah, for me, like with Aoyama, I was really hoping, he was another one I wasn't hoping was a traitor, because we had that really, well, now it's a spoiler, we had that image of Aoyama and the monster and the doors and all that. I'm actually kind of bothered that that actually was referring to the traitor, just because it's like, okay, I guess. I think Horikoshi's, like, one thing to definitely appreciate for Horikoshi is that for the traitor, what he did was essentially, he hid the traitor among traitors. Like, he pretty much hid a tree in a forest. He just gave so many traitor options that it was easy to obfuscate, and that becomes even more clear when you see the way he went about this. Like, I think there's no real way around it. I think he looked at it and he knew that the only way he was going to create a surprise about the traitor was to make everyone think, or like make a good chunk of people think, that the traitor was already out. Mind you, he did it in a really, like, again, I think it's a really cheap way with the way that All For One frames it. Like the way that White Despair also kind of frames it here. I think it's kind of like that. Let's see. Kind of hoping it was so that they'll connect to me indiscriminate, but Aoyama is quirkless. Yeah. I like that little thing that Aoyama is quirkless. That's also interesting that All For One gave someone a quirk and their body didn't have the... I guess that's kind of... It's just interesting. Aoyama's the only person who has actually an incompatibility with a quirk given to him by All For One. Most of it sucks that choice, and I don't give Horikoshi that much flack for his compromised writing. I agree with that. Like, I think that comes out from the nature of publication, though. Like, with Horikoshi, like, I do think that to some degree, you know, the big challenge for him is I think deadlines are the enemy to creativity. And I think deadlines are the enemy to, like, really well thought out plot developments. And I think sometimes you just have to go for the cheap and dirty just to get, like, a plot movement going. I was going to talk about it this week, but, you know, sometimes when I'm sitting down to write a book or something, I have one particular scene that the entire book revolves around, and then it's like, how do I get to that scene? And sometimes when I just need to get that chapter done, it's like, well, crap, I'm just gonna do the dirtiest thing I can and just, you know, poop it out. And I have more time. I have like deadlines of like 3 months to get these things out. So imagine that, then magnify it for Horikoshi, and we could legitimately talk about the kind of struggles that come about with a 5-day cycle, essentially, for these products. The only thing that was bad about the chapter was the popularity poll. I need to see the popularity poll. Thank God, Aoyama, because besides potential, no one cares about the invisible chick, says Deathray. Note the word spare basically means All For One is the type of people that calls them, but actually he would dispose of them and make it seem like they willingly accepted that. Yeah, of course. 100% Miguel. That is what All For One's about. He's power dynamics all the way. So Jojo is here now. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Shinzo's going to replace Aoyama. That's kind of sad. I would have preferred Hagakure to be replaced. I really think this whole replacing thing just is a little bit silly. I think Izuku in his narration still calls Aoyama a friend, right? Like the Aoyama chapters from the preview, like way back when Aoyama had this chapter. I'm pretty sure that Izuku called him a friend. Aoyama's place in Izuku's heart is not for dispute here. I think Aoyama is going to keep being Izuku's friend. I think Izuku's going to redeem him. Like, the kid's a victim. 100% the kid is a victim. So I don't like the replace rhetoric myself. And I think it's silly whenever I see people doing it. But hey, you know what? Horikoshi has been doing the most obvious thing, so maybe he actually will be replaced. Horikoshi low-key spoiled Aoyama as a traitor. It makes a lot of sense that it's Aoyama, because if he made Toru, then a woman would have to be important. Rough, man. Rough. Now the cliffhanger data just makes me laugh. All For One brags about the traitor as we literally cut to Toru discovering the traitor. Like, why is President Mike even on the poll? Madman, President Mike is probably on the poll because of his relationship to Aizawa and because he punched the doctor out really good during the war. But did you watch Arcane yet? Your opinion matters the most to me. Oh, no, Ty! I didn't know my opinion mattered that much. Ty, give me the weekend and I'll watch it. Because I do need something to watch. So give me the weekend, man, and I'll go for it. Aoyama was also a traitor, but unlike Hagakure, he got attached to his classmates and tried to tell Izuku, but couldn't just tell him because they're probably booby-trapped. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, does that mean he's about to explode? Because that's going to suck. Wait, so Miguel, you're thinking that Hagakure is still possibly the traitor? That's not also supposed to be that All For One gave Tenko decay? Oh, yeah. In terms of incompatibility with the body. Kirishima's number 4 in the pop. That's good enough for me. Yeah, pretty good. I knew Aoyama was acting sus. He's going to explode next. I'm calling it. Oh, yeah, AN6 is the right thing about the explosion. So it's Aoyama. So what's the actual reason for the cliffhanger ending with Toru out of all of Class 1A? I'll go through it, man. Now we know that apparently in the past, All For One was just ruling Japan while having the ability to shoot lasers from his belly button. The image is hilarious and brings a smile to my face. Oh, this is hilarious. Popularity poll is utter trash. They skipped All For One's visit during Tenko's flashback and MVA during the anime adaptation. They did. Or they skipped the visit of that man. At least Aoyama being a traitor was foreshadowed. I'm kind of glad it wasn't Invisible Girl. Well, the thing about it, Aki, is that people would have said that Toru was being foreshadowed, right? Now, mind you, like, the issue was, it all depends on how you took certain lines, right? And you know what? I think still probably a good thing to think that there's probably still more traitors. Like, maybe Toru still is a traitor. It's going to be kind of hard. But we really can't say anything about this until we're like 10 chapters away, probably. Like, at this rate, Nejire might as well still be a traitor as well. Okay, Sorry said, do you think Bakugo will do something to Aoyama since technically he's the reason for All Might's fall? It kind of depends on Bakugo's stance for villains. But Bakugo might feel that if he's going to be the ultimate hero, he has to save Aoyama, like save his soul or something like that. I don't know. It depends too on whether or not Izuku's going to even tell him about it. Because Izuku might just keep it under wraps for whatever reason, right? It kind of depends on what Izuku's feeling for this particular situation. After taking a long break, I gave my love for Juju Kai back, and I'm currently... Oh, that's great, Deathray. Trip, have you seen the field day vocal pineapples has been having on Twitter since he's been calling this for a long time? No, I haven't. I do want to ask, Oceans. Is Oceans having like a crisis of faith? Yeah, that's it. Crisis of faith with Hero Academia. I saw like some people making fun of him on 4chan, which was hilarious. So I saw people making fun of him on 4chan, so I'm just wondering if he actually is depressed about Hero Academia or something. I just let me know, guys. Let's see. How did Rhodey get in top 10? Still haven't watched movie 3, but he better be a good character. I think Rhodey Animamus got top 10 because of the girl vote and probably just because of the movie. A similar thing happened to Shinzo. When Shinzo was on season 2 of Hero Academia, he got into the popularity poll. And that was entirely from the anime. So there is a level of anime watchers that come into these polls and do a massive influx of votes. Because we've seen it happen before. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's just the way it works, right? Can't really say anything else about it. Let's see, with Deku finding out this early about Aoyama, what does this mean for the Traitor plotline? It's going to be just over, or is something bad about to happen? Something bad might be about to happen. Hey, Kayla. Maybe the parents might do something stupid out there, like off the All For One hyping it up. It would be lame if this was it, but who knows? Well, actually, remember, All For One's a hype man, and he might just... Yeah, All For One's a hype man. Like, I wouldn't get too invested. How is Aoyama still alive from having shot Mr. Compressed from the Bakugo kidnap arc? Probably they don't really... I don't think Shigaraki knew who the traitor was. Because Shigaraki was asking Toga to go get blood from other students, and that implies he didn't know who the traitor was. Actually, I do need to also see how Aoyama was able to take the roster. I saw an interesting theory in regards to the spoilers that I think is worth bringing up. They basically analyzed 3 things from the spoilers. Kaminari says that no matter what they do, All For One will be laughing at them. 2, they bring up Hiyantomaki and the details of the containment. 3, Aoyama confesses he's a traitor. The theory basically is that now that the students know that Aoyama has been leaking info to All For One, they have him leak false info about Hiyantomaki location to All For One in order to set up an ambush for him. Oh, that's really cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, bringing up Hiyantomaki, they're probably like, you know the author style by now. Bringing up Hiyantomaki means that plot card is going to be coming up relatively soon. Okay, Madman. It would make sense for it to be more than one traitor. Yes, I agree with that. Toru was also the one that brought Izuku to the mall where he met Shigaraki. But Miguel, remember, just remember, if Toru is not the traitor, remember, Shigaraki left for the mall without telling anyone. He was going off to vent. So just recall that. Right? Like, that is a very sketchy piece of information. So right now, we're just playing this game of, like, we gotta be kind of careful. Just because, like, right now, anything could really go on depending on how many 4D plays Horikoshi wants to make. What I pretty much want to say is just, in case any person isn't a traitor, like in case Toru isn't a traitor by the end of all this, just remember that the pieces of information that we are using are dubious in nature. Aoyama's parents look pretty goofy, they have always have. I mean, top 10 out 3 depth. Let's see. I know 1A knows that Izuku was quirkless, but I like how Aoyama is bringing back the quirkless aspect. I do as well. Rhodey's a cool character. Shindo made no sense since season 3 was a long time ago. Shindo was an issue of the fangirls for sure coming in there and getting involved. I demand a recount, says Animamus. Let's see. I honestly thought that Uraraka would make the top 10 because of her speech, but nah, it wasn't enough. Yeah, no, like it's pretty lame. It was pretty lame. Also, here the search quirk might be gone, which is good. Well, actually, there's no reason to say search is gone because we saw search probably in the last chapter. The spoilers say that the kids are hoping that it's gone, but I don't know how you see what Shigaraki did in the last chapter and think that search is gone. From watching For Neverworld, the female audience here is huge. More of them watched the last movie than any based on statistics. Makes sense to me. Like, the female audience is what made Tiger and Bunny the most popular anime when they did that one big poll. But mind you, like, if you look at the sample size for the poll and if you see how they polled, it makes sense why Tiger and Bunny came out on top. Like, on the flip side, the idol shows did really well for the males. Toru's position during USJ was also unknown, just like Aoyama. Yes. Why does Horikoshi keep hyping up these well-designed women only to throw them away after 3 chapters? We know what TGC is reading. Justice for Melissa, Mahoro, and Katsuma not getting a top 10 pull. Not going to lie, I think that Dabi is going to be an Itachi clone in this story. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do I sense Hagakure getting more screen time? With what is going on with Aoyama and her bringing in Izuku, there's a lot to come. I agree. I'm hoping... Imagine one of the big 3 as a trader. I'm hoping so too, because I really want to just... I really... You know, I was just talking about people being sore winners. I'm going to be a sore winner. But mind you, at that point, I'm also going to be a giant loser at that point. Toru tell Izuku to go to the mall. He met Shigi. It was more luck. I agree, Gurren Rogue. Handboy went vent because Stain got more popular than him. Trip. That last video looks to be the conclusion of Crawler vs. 6. I agree. That loser Dobby made 15. Gosh dang it. Endeavor was beaten by a movie character. Hilarious. The man was 1 rank away from top 10. I thought so. I thought he'd be in the tops. Though, can't wait for Tiger Bunny Season 2. Me too! I can't wait. Never watched any Tiger and Bunny. Trip, what's your obsession with Nejire as a traitor theory? Poison, it's kind of it started off as a joke. Like, I thought the Nejire traitor theory was pretty stupid at the beginning. But then, you know, I kind of, like, worked myself into it. And then, like, there was, like, some stuff with the way that search worked when Shigaraki was going after Izuku that I just think makes sense with Nejire. And, you know, Nejire is also, like, one of the worst treated characters in the series. So if the author threw her like a bone and made her a traitor, I think that would just be nice for her. It'd justify some bad handling, I think. But yeah, it's mostly for a joke. But of my crack traitor picks, I do have Nejire as my top crack pick. Unless there's no traitor, then I personally think the traitor likely ends in the next chapter. I just don't see what Aoyama himself can do anymore. I know that the main hope people... I don't know if you read the newest Jump manga, Doro, but it has the most generic first chapter I've ever read. No originality, hate the way he draws eyes. Gotcha. I know which one you were talking about. I only read like halfway through. Ochako is right behind Endeavor and ahead of All Might. Oh, nice. Orikoshi, how many quirks are you going to have magical rules regarding quirk reactivity? How the heck would they even know? Who's Nejire? Oh, she's just one of the big 3. Oh, let's see. What is percent had online was a traitor would disable the UA defenses, but I don't think it's possible for Aoyama to do anything like that. I don't really see what more Aoyama can do now that Izuku is literally right in front of him and knows he's a traitor. Yeah, and again, like, Izuku called Aoyama a friend during the narration of Aoyama's chapter. Does anyone know the Aoyama chapter, the chapter number by heart? Oh, no, wait, I see it here. It's chapter 167. So, I need to go to chapter 167 real quick. I need to just go look at this. Poor Aoyama. He was there thinking like All for One's gonna be in jail, he's gonna be free, and now it's like, oh crap, here we go again. Let me just very quickly look at chapter 167 here, guys. Because this is gonna be kind of important depending on how the narration works. And the birds are also very excited. In the situation of Aoyama, though, if Aoyama is neutralized early, the author does put himself in a really good position with the idea of more traitors. Because what he could do is, he says like, oh man, we caught the traitor, we figured it out, Toru figured it out, which is amazing. We caught the traitor, we figured it out, and now we don't have to worry about anything. And then sirens go off, and it's like, oh crap. Nejire just turned down the barrier, or like Class 2 Girl just turned down the barrier, or Vlad King just turned down the barrier. That would actually be like a really good move, and he would set himself up really well for that. So if the author wants to go in and do that, I think that's how he could use Aoyama. At this point, I think probably going in there and using like hiding the tree in the forest type strategy, just like giving us like just a smorgasbord of traitors, is probably the best move. Okay, so I'm just looking at chapter... It was chapter 168. So it's like Izuku ended off the chapter saying, and just like that, I became friends with Aoyama. Yeah, given... like, it's just because of the narration. Because of the way the narration works, I do think that's future Izuku talking. So I think he's ultimately going. I think it's ultimately going to be okay, but it depends because like Horikoshi is so, he's so fluid or like so lackadaisical with his narration style that honestly you can't really trust the narration either, depending on the way you want to argue it. Yeah, it just depends on how you interpret those narrations. All right, let's see. Still shocked we got the spoiler pattern at the beginning of the day. Thank you for having that. Oh yeah, thanks Kayla. Like that was pretty fun. No female made it to top 10. Nope. Another thing about Aoyama was scared when Ida showed up during the license exam, so maybe he wanted to fail on purpose, but Ida swayed him. Yeah, maybe. 278. Let's see. No female deserved to make it into the top 10. So let's see. So we haven't gotten into Izuku Ochako talk. Yeah, well, we kind of saw. Oh, hey, Yusuke. But yeah, the Ochako Izuku talk, we saw that being delayed for a long time because that's what Horikoshi was going to do. Oh, Mirko's in the 30s. What happened to Aoyama? Did I miss a lot? No. Okay, Ida chopping Izuku in the head and correcting him from me to us was funny. Yep. Most readers thought the Mammy flashback in Rent a Girlfriend was pointless. Okay. My three traitor is Mineta, Toru, and Cheese Boy. Cheese Boy, a reason I was wrong, but Toru because she wanted to be seen, and Mineta because he was a harem. Yes. And hey, King of Nerds. Oh, good night, Sam. Let's see. Aoyama mom was sweating during All Might versus All for One because All for One spilled the beans about her past. Yes. I assume in the next chapter we got something like Izuku saying that, oh, we forget, you're our friend, and then all we get from Aoyama being a traitor. But I do think Izuku should be thinking like, yo, wait, this guy just revealed something critical to me. Aoyama is about to blow up. Like, Izuku should be thinking, like, I need to figure out how to stop an explosion. That's the first thing I'd be doing. Did a video on the last chapter. He brought out one of my main concerns. One, Toga appearing out of nowhere since the setup for her being conflicted. And your Ochako speech. Oh, man, TGC is going through the whole cycle now. I had earlier this chapter, Eddie and Monoma were missing. Thank God that turned out to be false. Yeah, I just don't see Aoyama going all Mission Impossible and seeking to UA to disable the UA defense or anything like that. I don't think he's going to do it either. I think Nejuda is going to do it. If she is a traitor. Did he even know who was going to be the traitor prior to writing 3-6? So are there two traitors? 1 second. Future Aoyama focused episode, and that's how Aoyama and I stopped being friends. Maybe. Moment she had with her. Guys, I'll reread the spoilers. Just let me finish the comments. Moment she had with her. Does Shigaraki even know Twice is dead? Does any of the league besides Toga know? The league probably knows. Tai, remember who Horikoshi is. He does the information in flashbacks so that he doesn't slow down the story. Remember how Izuku, like, the entire story about Izuku and the way he got to be outside was trickle-fed to us over the course of weeks through flashbacks at the beginning of the chapters? That's pretty much what's going to happen. That's pretty much what's going to happen with Toga. Everything about Toga is going to be told to us through flashbacks when it's relevant for her, because that's his style right now. Let's see. Why would a female character... They aren't treated well, says Gohan. I'm alright, Gohan. Haven't spoken to you in a while, Gohan, though, so I hope you're right. Having Neji to be the makes sense. Why he didn't give her a storyline later? Yep. They're really blitzing through Banished Hero. Oh, okay. I need to check. They're bringing back that Time Reaper Digimon from the beginning. Okay, Nagant blowing up in Izuku's face with horrible. I honestly hope they won't be the same for Aoyama. Imagine if a copy of Twice could give All for One the quirk. So that Twice could have quirk as well. Yes. I gotta admit, the spoilers for this chapter have been hilarious to witness the utter chaos that ensued. First, the image of Aoyama confessing to Izuku leaks approximately 8 hours. And then we get fake spoilers like how Vlad and Monoma are also traitors. And then they kidnap Eri. Oh, that's wonderful. I missed those. Speaking of Digimon, surprised they use Sister Mon CL in the episode since she's basically censored Sister Mon Noir. Yes. Best artist in Jump right now? Probably. Alright, I'm just going to very quickly read the chapter officially for you guys. So, chapter title is Villain. The chapter begins with Izuku and... Okay, also, remember, All Might had nothing but kind words to say for All for One. Or, sorry, about Class 1A. And right under his nose, this poor boy has been tortured his entire life. That still stands. I'm happy All Might is still the worst judge of character. What an absolute dunce. He's not a dunce. This is just All Might being All Might. Anyway, the chapter begins with Izuku and Bakugo training. He says that cluster is based on the principle that he learned from Endeavor of concentrating and releasing. He produces multiple spheres of sweat and explodes them simultaneously. This is why he is wearing his winter costume to increase sweat production. That made sense. We kind of speculated about that. Shoto is also training. He wants to improve the control of the two halves of his body. I feel like Shoto has been doing this since the beginning. Is this not what he always does? What happened to like being able to use flash fire? Like Horikoshi doesn't know what he's doing with his powers. That's really what it is. Some powers are dead ends, and Shoto's is one of them. Kaminari is talking to Mineta, saying that the two enemy generals are weakened. Also, Higantamaki is still sleeping, has been in prison, so the chances of victory are greater than ever. We see a metal structure being built, supposedly the place where they are holding Makia. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. I do think this is kind of suspicious. And really saying that Makia is not going to be showing up is dumb. I do think Makia is going to be coming back into the thing. I think Mina and Kirishima still have some more stuff that can be done. I think until we know what happened to Crimson Riot, we are not done with Makia. So Makia is coming in because Kirishima needs something to do, and Mina needs something to do, and Mina hasn't really gotten anything. Let's see. Bakugo says that they are way too optimistic, and that he has... Wait. There's another comment here. Okay, whatever. Bakugo says that they are too optimistic, and that he has 3 points that prove how difficult it will be. First, they are unlikely to find All For One. I agree. Until today, even when they found the Nomu labs of Shigaraki's hideout, All For One was never there. Nomu labs. When they found the Nomu, they did find All For One. Anyway, besides, he hid for several years after he lost to All Might the first time. Second, Shigaraki was already weakened in the last battle. Even then, he put in all that work. He was weakened in the last battle. No, that's... I need to see the exact wording there. I don't think that makes sense, because he was at 98%. He was still pretty strong. He was stronger than he was during the war. So, of course, he would put in all that work. To think that it'll be an easy fight now, even more so with the reduced number of heroes, is very naive. Agreed. What this does is, this is again one of the better parts of Horikoshi, in that he is able to say, yo, you know, when Momo says that this is our best chance, it's like, technically that's true, but it's also very naive to think that's your best chance, because it's not that easy. But technically it would be the best chance. Third, the villains must already have a plan and are waiting for the right moment. Even supposing that Search was destroyed in the fight against Star, they must have a plan B. The best thing to do now is to prepare for their attack. Search, as far as we are aware, is still active. And if it's not, All For One probably still has a copy of it. Like, this whole thing about the destroyed quirks is pretty stupid, given that All For One probably has copies of it. Izuku says that he still wants to go out to search for them, but Ida chops him on the head, telling him not to think of me, but us. They also said that they can move now around freely, because Uraraka's speech has brought the students closer to the civilians. This is a nonsensical line. The civilians that heard this were the ones at UA. Move around freely? Bro, all you have to do is sneak out the back and no one can stop you. Like, you can't move around freely. Like, this is a nonsensical line. Depending on how this actually comes out in the final translation, what this is probably is just Horikoshi trying to make Uraraka look special. But this isn't. This is about as asinine as the hospital keyword line. Anyway, the conclusion Kaminari comes to is that no matter if they move or wait, All For One is sure to be laughing at them. This is actually a little bit concerning, because laughter and happiness is a metaphor that's attributed to All For One, and I'm a little bit concerned that Kaminari knows the metaphor, because the only other, like, the people that know the metaphor that started it up were Hawks. I don't think it's appropriate for him to know this trait of All For One. Is it a coincidence, or is it like a Kaminari Traitor theory type thing? I'm not sure. But this is a very concerning line to have. That level of awareness of All For One should not be there for Kaminari. What do you guys think about that one? We then see Hagakure in the forest. So this is strange to me. Like, Horikoshi showed her in the last week's chapter in the building, and now we see her in the forest. I don't understand this level of whatever he's doing. We didn't. Anyway, she's saying that a certain someone is quite depressed since the end of the war. She watches three people talking in distance. One of them says that the other has to obey because he is back giving orders. They say that he just needs to keep doing as he always did because the signs are disguised as everyday actions and are impossible to trace. So for that, I am very concerned. I'm just thinking like, how is Nezu not able to decode this if they're everyday actions? Mind you, this still doesn't say anything about who got the roster for USJ. Hagakure then thinks that even after Izuku came back, the person didn't smile once. She was worried and went after him, but that's when she found out Aoyama is a traitor. His parents are telling him that he needs to keep obeying All for One or else they will be killed. So if we see Toru's thought process in here, this is going to be very strange because with Toru's thought process, it's going to say, well, like, her thought process is innocent. If you want Toru to be a traitor, if we see like actual inner monologues, we're gonna be looking at a split personality because that's the only way to justify like inner monologues. Like you have to be, once you start going into the realm of inner monologues, you have to create a really crazy psyche. She says that he has already obeyed All for One's request as soon as the school year started, and then informed him the location of the training camp without anyone finding out. So I don't fully, like, this is another suspicious line. Where's the stuff about getting the roster? Because remember, Kurogiri in USJ says he procured the roster, or like the roster that was procured for them. How does Aoyama get the roster? And what he's really saying is the location of the training camp. Aoyama cries and tries to oppose them, but his parents quickly say that they are not doing it because they like it either. But it's too late to go against him. Hagakure is listening to everything and can't believe it. She thinks back to the villains' attack on USJ and the forest. So here's the critical thing. The one that brings up USJ is Hagakure, not Aoyama from what we see so far. Anyway, Aoyama's mother says that they only wanted their son to be happy, and we see a small flashback. She asks, do you want to be like everyone else? Yes, because being the only one that's different is scary. Aoyama was born without a quirk, so his parents asked All for One to grant him one so he could chase his dreams. Hagakure realizes she needs to warn a teacher, but he sees someone approaching. Aoyama still cries, saying that he has suffered all this time. He dedicated himself to this role so as to not arouse suspicion, not be consumed by guilt. When All for One was arrested in Camino, he thought he could finally live peacefully with his friends, but he was wrong. His parents apologize, and Aoyama says that he did all this to protect them because he didn't want them to be killed. They then ask him to continue protecting them, but it's at this moment that Deku arrives, brought by Hagakure. So the concerning thing here is Hagakure was going to go out and reach a teacher, but then she saw Izuku showing up. So with this thing, what I'm thinking is Izuku might have screwed this up because I think the better move is for her to go get a teacher. Anyway, he says he heard from Hagakure something about a traitor and asks if it's true. But the parents try to play dumb. Aoyama cries nonstop while looking at Izuku. He then blames himself for being the only one who didn't say anything to him during the rescue, and we see a panel showing his reaction to the letter Izuku left when he left UA. Okay, so I guess this was a clue. Midoriya said that he had gone to the forest to look for him because he realized that something went wrong. Aoyama was the only one who remained sad all this time. It's at this point that he breaks and starts talking, saying that he leaked the location of the camp and USJ. I am a disgusting villain. So this is what he says about USJ. I am a disgusting villain, Izuku. The last panel is a flashback of the cheeses he left on Izuku's balcony during the one chapter, which spelled, I know everything. Okay, so it's a long chapter. Like, thankfully, it'll be one that gives a lot of conversation. Alright. Let's go back to the comments. And thanks, guys, for going through all that with me. Alright. Gohan's well. Mirko need to be top 10. Let's see. Speaking of Digimon, surprised they use... Oh, got that. Look, Horikoshi can't write, but he's the best in Jump for art. Hey, anime missed those rules that Metal Phantomon set during the race were really stacked. Sister Monsiel was a speed demon. Odd for a sister. I find it weird that he said that me and you is the same, so that he could mention that Izuku's father is a villain. Toru like attention. Love how some people were saying that early panel was fake just because the to be continued box was different. Yeah, no, like when I looked at that panel, it's like, no, this is real. This is 100% real. Like, don't even bother. Don't think I could consider him best artist. No, within Shonen Jump right now he is. Like, Black Clover doesn't match. Like, Black Clover doesn't match at all. Ciel was one crazy nun. I don't think her personality would be like that. Also, Trip, no skipping ahead in Arcane. I want you to get the full experience. Okay, Ty, got it. He's been doing that since Forest Training. Horikoshi doesn't know where to take it next. Imagine Izuku gets a super grim look on his face and completely wraps Aoyama in Black Whip in an attempt to contain the explosions. He experiences power close and needs to protect everyone. That would be kind of wild. Horikoshi realizes that Shoto doesn't make sense as a rival and has decided to focus all non-Izuku development on Bakugo. Right under All Might's nose, this student has been bravely protecting the lives of his parents from All for One. Yeah, and suffering all the while, right? At this point, we won't get Chainsaw Man Part 2 till late 2023. Okay. Class 1A, we're way too optimistic. Love how Bakugo is calling everyone out under ignorance. Yeah, I think it works too, because like Bakugo actually knows what he's dealing with. I still don't understand why he would assume that specific quirk was destroyed. He's not assuming. He's putting out the possibility. Like what Bakugo is doing is saying like, we really can't, like it might make us feel better to think that Search has been wiped out, but we really can't rely on that. Bakugo actually is being really intelligent on that particular move. Good night to Death Ray. Ochiako can't catch a break in this chat. I'm still questioning how Izuku got his afro back. Izuku is way faster than Bakugo, and how we saw Izuku dodging Nagant's high-speed bullets. Like, come on. Oh, okay. All for One could also use Skeptic's satellite image if Search was indeed destroyed. Yeah, it'd be a little bit harder, but he could. Like how villains laugh when they know they have the upper hand. Good to know the illustration of Aoyama at the art was actually about a traitor. Yeah, right? Like, we have to talk to Jason when he comes on about this. I'm actually pretty bothered about that, just because it's like... I guess this was Horikoshi going in on hiding the tree within the forest. Yeah, but Trip, Horikoshi can't write Aoyama is a traitor pretty easily. Oh, cool. Hagakure found out the traitor that she's imported. Doesn't matter. Aoyama told Izuku anyway. Yep. Hagakure is still suspicious. Why the heck was she on top of UA's main building? She has been away from the classic Aoyama the whole time. Yeah, no, it's still suspicious. It's just like now it's an issue of like, is this just casual suspiciousness, or is this like actually plot relevant suspiciousness, right? Like, yeah, why is she in the main UA building, right? Honestly, Horikoshi is for a level cool. Yeah, Koori is trying to hype up Baku for some reason. You will be a judge. Let's see. I want to know how they got into contact with All for One. Does he have a hotline? 1-800-FREE-QUIRK? No idea, man. So what happens to Aoyama now? Does All for One blow him up? I think so. Wait, what about Black Clo... Oh, Alex came in. Horikoshi can write. Oh, Alex, you came in like at a fun time, man. Yeah, no, man. We're just talking about little spots here and there. TGC was just kind of upset about so TGC just went through the whole thing of Star and Stripe, so he just went through that whole sequence of seeing Star get decimated. I definitely like this better than just Hagakure being traitor. Looking back at some of the small details like Aoyama's quirk doesn't fit his body, makes it satisfying to me. Demon Slayer starts in a few days. Subtlety isn't Horikoshi's strength. I would agree with that at this. I think no. Subtlety is his strength in one aspect. I think when he's working on dialogue, and when he's doing like, there's a particular brand of detail that he does really well. And I think that's where he really excels. When it comes to big sweeping plot movements, I think things become a little bit more complicated, right? Yeah, Alex, so that's what Omar is pretty much talking about. He just went through that whole thing right there. And yeah, Gohan, it was about, Black Clover, it was about art. Like, Horikoshi's art is better than Black Clover's art. Like, there's no real competition for me. He's just flat out better. Like, Horikoshi has more styles than Black Clover's artist. I think his imagery is really subtle. I would agree. I think also, like, Horikoshi is definitely the best at density of information. There's no reason to even bother saying that this isn't the case. He has the densest chapters in Shonen Jump right now. The amount of information that he can pack into chapters is really good. Horikoshi also has probably the best visual storytelling. There's a lot of times where you're looking at Horikoshi's stuff and you can take extra details out from the way that he draws certain panels. And that's a level of mastery that you don't really see with the others. Mind you, I don't think he's that great, again, at the sweeping things. I don't think he's good at those big moments. When it comes to, like, you know, stringing it together. It's, yeah, probably connective tissue. He's probably not that great at connective tissue. Oh, that's okay, Gohan, man. You can have your favorite. I don't really mind, man. Like, you know, you enjoy what you enjoy. Oh, Viz, did you say something? Viz, where's your comment, man? Can you put it back, Viz? Because I don't know if I'll get if I got it, man. I 100% met you. Oh, nice, John. I find it a little interesting that students flat out state that no matter what they do, All for One will be laughing at them. It just makes me feel like the students might end up doing something that actually foils All for One's plan. Yeah, and you know you're thinking in that direction. My thought on the direction is really, I'm concerned that Kaminari was the one that said that. That's the concerning thing for me. I'm glad he'll be done within 2 years. I'm excited for his next work. I'm not. I don't think. I think it's not going to go well on the next one. I don't have any real. I think he has way too many bad habits now. I don't think his habits are good. I think we're going to see something similar to what happened to Red Hood. The style that Red Hood went down with, I don't think it's worthwhile, man. Like his style works now for when you're like so knee deep in a story, but going back to the beginning, it's gonna be like a Masashi Kishimoto situation. I don't think he actually has experience going from a developed series back to a normal series. I think the Black Clover author would probably do better, just because the Black Clover author has shown a higher degree of mastery when it comes to like the Black Clover author. Like what makes the Black Clover author really special is that he understands how to dumb things down. And that's not something that people actually know how to do really well. And when I say dumb things down, I mean like he pretty much knows how to play to his market. Like when we're talking about other authors that can do this, it's pretty much Hiro Mashima. But the Black Clover author is the only other one that I would say 100% could go from a popular series back to starting from the beginning. I actually want Tokoyami to get revenge for Hawks, even with Dobby's advantage. I can still see him screwing up. Can't burn wood, probably can't even produce enough light. I wonder if Aoyama is going to seek pity from Izuku like Dobby did. Just imagine Aoyama justifying himself, saying something like, you understand, right, Midoriya, how hellish it is to not fit in society. I don't think so, because he's crying so much. I think he feels really bad about this, right? I don't know if he would twist it that way. Him being a traitor because his parents had a debt was theorized better than Toru. Yeah, I still don't get how Toru was with Todoroki, but also saw how Judo was fighting, even though they were in different locations. Right now, that's the only reason I still feel suspicious about her. Horikoshi subtle imagery. There's a video called My Hero Academia, the character design and why it's funny. What do you mean? Do you mean like that's like you're saying that there is no subtle imagery? Because I do think there is subtle imagery when it comes to Horikoshi. He's had some great. I think the rescue arc is probably one of the better SJ arcs in the last 10 arcs. I feel like One Piece can be really dense now and seems to write in hopes for the anime to fill in some spots. Yeah. One Piece 100% does that. I think that's a really accurate observation, Yusuke. I do think One Piece does that. But the thing with One Piece is that One Piece has always had critical density with its art style, but you don't really get all that many extra details from it. Like it's just kind of cool to see all the chaos, but you don't get that much. Hero Academia is the only one where you can kind of tell what's going on with with Hero Academia, it's more of a situation of like the glass is half full kind of thing, because Horikoshi doesn't have enough time, so he hides extra details in the background panels. For instance, like one of the really good details that I keep bringing up from the war arc is that there was one particular, or I think there were two. There were two officials in the Liberation Army that were able to deflect Edgeshot's initial attack. And one of them is now still active within the army. It's like she might still be relevant. And that's a little detail there. He was able to show how viable one of these people, or like how much of a threat one of these people actually were. So it's little things like that. With One Piece, you can't tell that level of detail that well because it's too cluttered. And One Piece doesn't do the same kind of Hero Academia has more sophisticated rhetorics in more chapters than One Piece does. Let's see. Apparently, Jobless Reincarnate is going to be on Disney Plus. Holy, that's a crazy one. Imagine Izuku gets the Super Grim look. Oh, I got that, Viz. Okay, yeah, I got that one, Viz. I thought that was pretty brutal. I don't know if he would do it. I just bought PS5 for $1,000. I need to say that. Oh, shoot, Madman. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I disagree. He's worked on more projects than most other authors, more failures than most. You're talking about the Black Clover author, right? the failures are going to be what's going to be important for him, because like he went from a super complex series. If we're talking about the Black Clover author, he went from super complex to simple. Like he knew what to do. Like once he was able to do that, being able to go from complex to simple, I think he will do just fine with a new series. If Horikoshi does another series, I'd prefer it something shorter and concise. I think he'd be better handling an even smaller scale story, preferably a slice of life. That'd be really cool. I agree with you, Alex. I think he would do probably better with a shorter one. Since we know All For One can spy on people with a vestige, how did he punish Aoyama after saving Toyomi from Mr. Compress? He would obviously know. We don't know, actually. We don't know the degree to which he can spy, right? And it really depends on how... It depends on how Horikoshi wants to say how this works. Like, Horikoshi made up the science, so he can change the rules of the science whenever he wants. Good point, Ty. We'll have to see. For now, just assume that the communications aren't that great. Like, All Might's kind of assuming that the communication between the vestige and the host isn't that great, so Horikoshi might fall back on that. And yeah, I read the One Piece spoilers in some instances, but for character designs are so obvious. Oh yeah, but that's different. Like I think for your character designs, your characters have to be obvious. I mean, like you also see the way that he uses puns in their names, right? So like for character designs, I think that's a little bit of a different thing. Oh yeah, the next chapter Black Clover is gonna be pretty good. Gohan, probably because the main target was just Bakko, so he didn't care for Tokoyami. I'm talking about Horikoshi, who worked on. Oh, okay, gotcha, TGC. Okay, with Horikoshi. No, see, my issue with Horikoshi is that I don't see any robustness in his failures. When I look at the Black Clover author, there's no point. Hungry Joker is significantly far above Hero Academia at this stage in terms of its power design and in terms of the rhetorics that went into it. Hungry Joker stands above. There's no, like, just in terms of, like, just that kind of design. Horikoshi, when I look at Hero Academia, I see nothing but limitations within Hero Academia. And that's the issue. Horikoshi, I think, went from series to series, you know, improving. And he went up to a high level. But I don't think he knows how to come back down. When it comes to the Black Clover author, that guy knows how to come back down. He went from Hungry Joker back down to Black Clover. And we're talking about just like the sophistication that came into the powers that happened. I think it's important to not underestimate how valuable of a skill dumbing things down is. And that's ultimately what's going to make things difficult. Like, I think Horikoshi is going to have the same problem that that Kishimoto had. In that Kishimoto, he went in and he started world building at like too high of a level, too much jargon. It was not going to work for his target market. And really right now, my only other little piece of evidence, which really isn't evidence, it's just more circumstantial. The guy that did Red Hood, he was learning his tricks from Horikoshi. The fact that he went in there in Red Hood with the tricks that he learned from Horikoshi must mean that those tricks were being elevated to a higher level. Such that they were tricks that should be mimicked. And when you look at what ultimately happens with Red Hood, those tricks that he was employing are not viable for a beginning series. So with that in mind, that's what I think is going to be the big issue with Horikoshi, is that he's on a escalation kind of route, improving from his failures, whereas Black Clover was a step down from Hungry Joker's degree of intricacy, I would say. It's a little bit of a different dynamic. But of course, you know, we're speculating on a guy's future. A lot could happen between then and now. And he could come out and he could have another hit series. Legitimately could happen. Trapped in a dating sim, the world of Ultimate Games is tough for mobs. Yep. How would he know about that? Are you referencing the theory that All For One passive register whenever he gives anyone a quirk? Horikoshi has good subtlety. It's hard to blanket an arc as only being one way through its entirety. Yes. Like with like that's why I try to be careful with Horikoshi. Like you have to break down all different categories, and you have to say like he's really good at this, he's not that good at that, he's good at this. This works out really well for him. This doesn't work out really well for him. He's got his areas where he really excels. For instance, he really excels writing guys. He doesn't do that well with women, so he's not that comfortable with it. And you can kind of see it there. He has horrible habits with cliffhangers, but that's probably coming in from Shonen Jump. I honestly like Aoyama being both quirkless. Will play on Izuku as a character. We always see how pained Izuku is when he brings up stories about being born quirkless and having to catch up to his classmates. This can address Izuku's self-sacrificing nature, and now he does not consider himself as important. We saw this when he talked to Koda, found out that Melissa was quirkless, and even in the third movie. Just got manga, great manga. See, you think Black Clover was more ambitious? No, I think Black Clover was significantly less ambitious. I think Hungry Joker was more ambitious. That's the thing. He dumbed it down. He dumbed down Black Clover. The man is a smart guy. After Hungry Joker's powers, he's 100% an intelligent author. He's dumbing it down for the sake of having a popular series. If All For One stole Dark Shadow and used it, would his head turn into a bird? Would Dark Shadow's personality memories carry over? Would it come out the same place as it does for Tokoyami? I don't know. Actually, yeah, probably because Search kept all of its accumulation. Black Clover was significantly less ambitious than even My Hero Academia. No, I agree. Oh, right. You're behind on, like, I'm a little bit ahead. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, Black Clover is significantly less ambitious. But that's... The fact that he's able to pull it off with a significantly less ambitious story is a sign of an understanding of what he's writing. Lots more anime come out soon. Let's see. From what we see last chapter, All Might is correct about the connection between Vestige and original body being weak. You're referring to the padding, right? You're right. The difference is I don't think Horikoshi even wants to do these ambitious type stories. When you look at he's more interested in simple, subtle stories. Exactly. Like, I agree with you. Exactly. I think this is the big thing. For his first had a woman as the main character, which is absolutely insane considering how he writes now. Yeah, no, TGC. I agree with you, but this is part of the problem. He wants to do more simpler stories, but here's the reality. He's failed at them. Think about it. The Black Clover author failed at a high density story and simplified it. He has a better sense of how to make a simple story work. Whereas Horikoshi, mind you, Hero Academia, if it stayed closer to its roots at the beginning, like if we're talking like USJ and all those beginning arcs, I think he would have been fine. What I'm saying is, I think he's taken in the worst possible lessons for starting a new simple series. And I don't think he has enough experience with a successful simple series. Hero Academia early is probably his best time having a simple series. But I agree with I agree with the things you're bringing up. Aoyama, another quirkless. Let's go check those bones. I need confirmation whether all quirkless gave the same number of joints. Oh yeah, let's do that. It would make sense to have at least one trader per year, since All For One, UA is a place that has great interest. I would like multiple traders than just one. Yep. For me, I think it would have been a good chance to have a nice conversation with Izuku and Ochako after the whole speech. The fact that we haven't gotten it yet is kind of disappointing. So Alex, I have my theories on that one. Like, the reason that it's not happening is because Horikoshi wants to hold the conversation for a climactic moment. Like, I said this, I talked about this when Horikoshi first moved Ochako, and okay, let's walk it back all the way to the first time that Horikoshi delayed the conversation. He made Ochako go to sleep, right? That was the first big indication. He doesn't want them to talk because he wants them to have this big climactic conversation, but that climactic conversation doesn't make sense if they get to talk like normal people before it. So that's probably what he's going in thinking. So until he's ready to have that climactic conversation, or like whatever it's going to be, like the high emotion conversation, he's not going to let these kids talk. It's just not what he's going to do. And it was clear from the moment that he made Ochako go to sleep. So that's the issue there. He's got a big idea in his head, and now that big idea is kind of informing how he handles everything kind of leading up to it. Okay, cool. I talked a lot, and we have gone to I think we've been going for like an hour or so. And unfortunately, I do have to work tomorrow. So we do have to end it here. Or not yet. 10 minutes. We'll end it in like 10 minutes, but you guys have to let me know if you have any more big comments you want to get out of the way. Let's see. Okay, I can see the time over there. Oh, hey, Kenneth. All for One said he has friends. I think the teacher from 1B is the other one. All for One knew where the training camp was before they went, so the teacher told Aoyama, who told All for One. Oh, you think Vlad King? Yeah, Vlad King's one of my crack picks, Kenneth. So I'm glad to hear you also going for it. Also, the villain in Arcane is All for One done better. My favorite show that came. Oh, okay. And yeah, Skel, I started pretty late, but that was because I came from work. I only started because like the spoilers were so great. Imagine having the entire stream just looking at the world map of Genshin. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Skelly, don't point it out. Screw you, Skel. Okay. Life is tough for mobs. Have you cleaned it? Oh, no, Skel. Actually, we should probably make plans for that. Because, Skel, you're pretty much done with your stuff pretty quick here, right? So we could probably do it on a Tuesday. Just go through Snoot game and finish it up. Let's see. Where can I see the leaks? Which ones, Chris? Like, Manga Helpers has all the leaks usually. Ah, okay, great. So yeah, Skel, we'll play Snoot game like on next week. Get that done. And again, Skel, I think it's I do think it's really adorable how you have that profile pic being the one girl from Snoot game. Alright, Chip, if Aoyama does explode, do you think he survives to be taken central, or is he the first student to die? I think he survives. I think All for One's explosions are jokes. Like, who actually believes that All for One can kill someone? Like, with an explosion? I sure don't. Maybe the new character pool would have been more appropriate background to use. Oh, yeah, maybe. I just needed something in the background. My apologies, guys. But you know, like these videos are always about conversation, not about pretty stuff happening on screen, right? Let's see. I honestly hope that Toga and Ochako's next will push Ochako to confessing her feelings to Izuku. Toga was shown to have her shut-in feelings to blow up in her face. Same may go for Ochako. Oh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Horikoshi wants to do on that one. Like, honestly, at this point, like, I'm not really expecting a lot just because of the way that he handles things. All I really know now for Toga is that Toga is going to have some kind of flashback. And I still think she's going to have a moment of crisis where she realizes she has to save Shigaraki. It's just unfortunate that that this is how we're doing it.
Is it my time?
Oh, I think I got it now, Kayla. I think I got it now. Trip, have you watched all 5 animator versus animation? I think I've watched a few. Trip. Oh, wait. Then again, you might get a strike if you use the lead character poll. Oh, yeah. Trip, have you started Stone Ocean? No, I have not yet, TGC. Honestly, I've read some of the Stone Ocean manga, and it doesn't really interest me. But then again, I've never really liked JoJo that much. So, you know, I might not be the best person to, like, ask for JoJo opinions. Skelly, you know what? I'll look up the whole thing about animator versus animation, just to make sure that I know what what I'm thinking of is what you're talking about. Let's see. Let's do it. When watching Arcane, after finishing episode 3, watch the music video called Enemy. It's the animated one and shows the relationship that should have been shown in the series. Okay. Gotcha. Noted. Oh, come on, TGC. I like it. You haven't been here for the Alien nights, so that's on you, man. We've been playing Alien on Thursdays, and I've been having heart attacks. I actually much rather Genshin. And sometimes Honkai. But right now I can't do anything on Honkai because I need to get more money. Or not money, I need to get more currency to play Honkai properly. Why not just let him watch Arcane? Honestly, seeing how outraged people were with that because Toga showed back up was a bit... I know I'm probably biased because I was fully expecting Toga to just return. Aoyama probably had the radio in his belt and can block radio at USJ. Yeah, probably, right? Like, it doesn't take that much to be able to screw with radio signals or whatever. I mean, I know some of the League of Legends stuff. I mean, I can look it up too. I don't really mind. Oh, it's great on its own. Got it. Let's see. When the series is over, who do you think the new top heroes will be? Oh, Izuku, Bakugo, Shoto, Ida, Isana, Tokoyami. Probably Momo. I think probably Ochako will retire. Let's see. Or just go be a counselor. Toga to just return to the villains like she did. I'm just surprised to see how much people were furious with that. Okay, they were furious. Yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, when I see it, I'm just thinking, like, this is just, like, typical Horikoshi, right? Like, I don't understand why people are getting so worked up. We've been with this guy for years now. We know how this guy works. Let's see. I refuse to watch Arcane because it's associated with League of Legends. It will give me toxicity by proxy of being related to the game. I think lore change after Arcane. Okay. Lemillion in the top 10? Lemillion might be able to get into the top 10 through pure charisma. Sorry, I forgot about him. He might be able to get top 10. Yeah, he might be able to do it. That's actually pretty... Like, yeah, sorry, I forgot about him. He'd be in through top 10. Or sorry, through popularity. It's just short video skill and wish I saw it before episode 7 in my opinion. Oh, okay, gotcha, Ty. No worries, Ty, man. Not a big deal. No Tintin Lemillion in the top 10. Let's see. Yeah, no. His quirk is useless though. Like, when it comes down to it, his quirk is useless against Nomu. His quirk is good for anti-normal people, but once you get into Nomu, like, what are you gonna do? You're pretty screwed. And like, even fighting Shizaku, like, pretty much Mirio is gonna have the worst time against the Terminator type characters. If you have any character that says I'm never giving up, Mirio's gonna have a really tough time. Because what he's going to have to do, he has to break another person's stamina. And in Shonen, that's really hard when you're fighting like a hardcore villain. Like, those guys won't go down. So that's the issue with Mirio. All he can do is punch a little bit harder than other people. That's it. In terms of his offensive capabilities, that's why he can't do anything against Nomus. These are the same people who are upset about Mirko and other people not making top 10. Oh, nice going, Rogue. I still have a mask to get Eula. I really don't want all the pre-farming I did for her to go to waste. Even though I'm going to step... I did pre-farm for Albedo as well, but I'll be less bummed there. Okay. Where would Kiri land? Kirishima? Probably top 20, I think. It's just like Kirishima doesn't have a flashy quirk, and we know this is a big deal. I just never understood why Toga wouldn't just return to villains. As far as we were informed, there was nothing stopping her, but it was just shocking to see that that was honestly the thing. Well, she was going to return to the villains, but I thought it was going to be more dramatic. Again, I do think we're going to see the drama in a flashback. I haven't even played League of Legends, but the show stands on its own. I like how I watched the top 10 heroes since one of the scariest villains is staying. Yes. You excited next Mushoku Tensei? They seem to have changed the scene based on the preview. They've changed a lot, like, actually. So I am excited. Meteor would solve a lot of small crimes plus popularity. Yeah, it's like, for Meteor, it's really the charisma. Wonder if Endeavor is going to put the cape up by the end of the series. Would be interesting to see him do something that isn't hero work, like being a father. I don't know. I don't know about that one. He might die too, right? After watch Hero left the hero part to live on the countryside is a good romance. Link for popularity poll. Oh, Matt, I don't have it, so I don't know. I'm happy Rody made top 10. The movie is still available where I'm from, so I haven't watched it. He seems cool. Okay, how would Ida fight Nomu? He like, Ida just dodges Nomu. Like that's just what we've seen with Ida. He just dodges Nomu. But he can dodge Nomu relatively well. Also, he has jet engines. Like, I don't know, the propulsion of a guy coming out of the earth versus actual jet engines on your legs. Ida probably could come up with ways of dealing with it. But yeah, good, fair point on Ida. Have you been doing the current Albedo event? The gameplay is nothing special like usual, but the story was actually somewhat exciting. I haven't gotten to play it yet. After my hero story book one finish, I have a next one planning to write, but the title's too long. Okay. Midnight should be in the top 10. I've just seen tons of people online going on and on about how it's a plot hole or retcon because there's no way for her to reunite with the villains. Oh, well, no, that's stupid, right? That doesn't fully make sense. there's tons of ways for her to reunite with the villains. Because, like, also they have Skeptic. Skeptic still has an information network. She can reunite with the villains. Like, are we forgetting Skeptic? Well, Jacko, like, I don't understand. There's even chapters of people saying, like, oh, the utilities are still on because I guess in the apocalypse we get to have convenience. No, Kayla, I didn't. Thank you, Kayla. I'll go check it right now. Will Jack lose her quirk? If All for One takes Ochako quirk, Eddie can't bring it back because her quirk genes will be stolen. Well, Meteos was destroyed by the bullet, so she was able to reverse it. I don't know about that, Madala. Like, if you can reverse someone into being... If you can reverse someone into being non-existing, I feel like you can do a lot. Like, Eddie has a reality warper quirk. I really don't know about this. You'd have to set up some real big assumptions to make it work. I mean, like, would the author do the assumptions? I think the author could, because he made up the science, right? But he'd have to make some critical assumptions. And then, if he does make critical assumptions to make that work, I 100% would go in and try and see if I can break it. Because, personally, I like breaking made-up power systems. So I would look to see if I could break it. I'd be very careful with that thing. Once you start playing around with, like, the basics of how quirks works, you start getting into some pretty dangerous territory. Okay, and I saw it, Kayla. Thank you. Ida will probably just deal with them in a similar fashion to Mirko. Ida's jet are mostly pure power, not really good for dodging. But you're right, his kicks are Midoriya level. No, TGC, they are good for dodging. Remember, Ida is the person who was dodging two near high-end Nomu while scolding Bakugo. That's what he did. This isn't up for discussion. He can dodge two Nomus at once without problem. Do you think All Might's level will still be special going forward? All Might's level? I guess. Hatsume is also my crack pick. Haven't seen her in a good while. Probably see her repair Izuku's costume. Random question, but are there other series that you're interested in and would like to review as in depth as you do for My Hero? I don't know. I would have if Shokugeki no Soma was still going, it would have been Shokugeki no Soma that I would have been reviewing in depth. Otherwise, like, if I had time, I'd be reviewing the isekai animes because novels typically have more information density in general, so I could review them a little bit easier. Like One Piece, I would like to, but One Piece has a style that I can't read Oda's style very well. So I can't really analyze him that well. There's a few things that I can get from Oda's style, like, knowing that Oda is going to value Luffy punching someone in Chapter 1000 over the world. There's little things like that I can kind of see, but One Piece is a little bit too much to be able to actually predict properly. But yeah, like right now, Black Clover doesn't offer enough density of information chapter by chapter. Right now, there's no other series that really can match Hero Academia. Eden Zero, Mashima's style is a little bit too spread out. Yeah, there's not really any other series. There's no series as consistent as Hero Academia to be able to do that with. Unfortunately, yeah. The way I saw it, there was never any reason she wouldn't call Spinner's phone and ask where they went. Of course, this would be completely after she calls Compress and gets no answer. If she didn't call Spinner, then I don't see why Spinner would have called her. My XP double every time I sleep, so the hero life become boring, so I decided to become Demon Lord. Oh, no, that's wonderful. Yeah, so gonna so first to see our quality. Did you hear they made a Cynthia Harden the Gen 4 remix? She's a true demon now. The Spirit Tomb is made up of the souls of Pokemon she wiped out. Nice. I assume it, since a lot of recent rhetoric has been about how All Might's amazing. Yeah, Alex, I'll think about it a little bit more. It's also an issue of profitability for the channel. Right now, Hero Academia is holding the channel up pretty well. It's different. If I was doing the novel reviews, I'd be able to talk at length about them, because there's different things that you can see in a novel than you can see in in a manga chapter. Oh, so TGC's out. Gotta wait 6 hours, so I gotta go to bed. All right. Cool. Gotcha, TGC. And thanks for being here and thanks for discussing. I always love disagreeing with you, man. And I'm calling it My Hero. My hero can end in 3 ways. Izuku will fight, but with the help of his friends, so that someone might die, lose quirk. Izuku will transfer one for all to All Might, a character that no one suspects will. Huh. All right. I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, guys, I'm going to call it there too. This was a last minute stream because we had the spoilers. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, kill All For One when he's distracted. Yeah. I do think All For One's going to be wiped out by his brother. Anyway, yeah, guys. Calling it there. Let's start saying the good nights. Oh, Black Fox, man, you just showed up. Good night, Black Fox. What's your Spotify mood? I don't have any. Let's see. Good night to Chris, Animamus, Black Fox, Skell. I don't know about my Spotify mood, man. Celtic music, is that a mood? Good night to Ty, and good night to Viz. And Ty, we're doing Alien tomorrow, so please be here if you can. Good night to AN683 and Going Rogue. There's 29 people here. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, Robert. Have a good night, Robert. And Kenneth, you were still there, so have a good night. Yusuke, have a good night. Recently, that back will fight All For One. I think it has merits due to recent stuff. Okay. Your recap tells you your mood. Oh, okay. I'll look into it, Skell. Good night to Miguel. Good night to Kayla. And yeah, guys. Till next time. Ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Till next time, everybody. And gotcha, Skell. I will check it out. Oh, night, Alex.